Once upon a time in a cozy little house lived a bunch of furry friends. There was Hops, the bunny, who loved to hop and nibble carrots. Then came Whiskers, the cat, always up for a good nap and a head scratch. Next we had Barkley the dog, whose tail wagged with joy at the mere mention of treats. And lastly, there was Squeak, the hamster, always running on his squeaky wheel. They were the best of friends, sharing their days with playful antics and cozy cuddles. Every day was an adventure in their own little world. Life was good, simple, and filled with the joy of being together. They loved their humans and their comfortable life. One day Hops was nibbling on his favorite carrot. Suddenly, he felt a jolt of energy surge through him. His nose twitched, his ears perked up, and for a moment, his eyes glowed with a strange light. He hopped higher than he ever had before. "Whoa!" exclaimed Hops, landing with a soft thud. He tried hopping again, and again he soared through the air. It was amazing! Hops realized he had superpowers. He could jump higher than any bunny ever could. He could even leap small fences in a single bound. Hops was no ordinary bunny anymore, he was Super Bunny. The next day, something strange happened. Barkley's favorite cookies were missing. The cookie jar, usually filled to the brim, was completely empty. Barkley whined, his tail drooping sadly. "My cookies, they're gone!" he cried. The friends gathered around, their faces a mix of concern and confusion. "Who could have taken the cookies?" wondered Squeak, his nose twitching. Whiskers, suddenly alert, sniffed the air. "Something isn't right," she meowed, her whiskers trembling. Hops knew what he had to do. "Don't worry, everyone. We'll find the cookies," he declared, his eyes shining with determination. "Super Bunny is on the case!" "We need a plan," declared Hops. "Whiskers, you're the best at sniffing out clues. You check the house." Whiskers nodded, her tail held high, and began her investigation. "Barkley, you have the best sense of smell. See if you can track down the cookie scent," instructed Hops. Barkley, eager to find his beloved cookies, immediately began sniffing around the empty jar. "Squeak, you're small and quick. You check all the nooks and crannies," chirped Hops. Squeak, always up for an adventure, scurried off, ready to explore. Section 5. The Great Cookie Caper. Whiskers, with her keen eyesight, noticed something interesting. Tiny paw prints, too small to belong to any of them, led out of the house and into the backyard. "I found something!" she meowed excitedly. Following the paw prints, they reached the backyard fence. "But the fence is too high!" exclaimed Squeak, looking up at the tall wooden fence. "How could anyone climb over that?" The friends were stumped. They could smell the faint aroma of cookies lingering in the air, but the trail seemed to end at the fence. Hops knew this was where his superpowers were needed. "Stand back, everyone," he declared, taking a deep breath. He closed his eyes, focused all his energy, and leaped. He soared high above the fence, landing gracefully on the other side. "Wow!" exclaimed the others in unison as they watched Hops effortlessly clear the fence. "That was amazing, Hops," cheered Squeak. Even Whiskers, usually too cool for excitement, looked impressed. On the other side of the fence, Hops discovered a trail of cookie crumbs. He followed the trail, hoping it would lead him to the missing cookies. Soon he reached a group of squirrels, happily munching on something that looked suspiciously like Barkley's cookies. The squirrels looked up, startled by Hops's sudden appearance. They chattered nervously, crumbs tumbling from their mouths. Hops, despite his Super Bunny status, felt a little intimidated facing a group of mischievous squirrels. Taking a deep breath, Hops explained the situation to the squirrels. He told them about Barkley and how much he loved his cookies. The squirrels, realizing the sadness they had caused, looked at each other sheepishly. They hadn't meant any harm, they were just hungry, and the cookies smelled delicious. The squirrels gathered the remaining cookies and handed them to Hops. "We're sorry, Bunny," one of them squeaked. "We didn't know they were so important." Hops, touched by their apology, smiled. "Don't worry," he said, "just remember sharing is caring." Hops returned to his friends, the rescued cookies clutched safely in his paws. Barkley was overjoyed to have his treats back, showering Hops with grateful licks. They all shared the remaining cookies, even saving some for the squirrels. From that day on, Hops continued to be Super Bunny, using his powers to help his friends and protect their little home. He learned that even the smallest pet could be a hero, and the strongest friendships could overcome any obstacle. And so, life continued, filled with even more laughter, love and a dash of superpowered fun.